All right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks again for joining me for another AI Lawyer webinar. Today, we're going to be discussing how to leverage custom instructions and how it's just going to send your ChatGPT interactions to a whole nother level. So in the next 15 minutes, you're going to understand what custom instructions are, why they're important, and how to build your own. I always like to do a little housekeeping before we get things started, just to kind of let everybody know what the plan is and what's going to come afterwards. This webinar is really going to be fast and furious. My goal is to get everyone out of here in 15 minutes, and I really want to stick hard to that goal. So, we're starting here right at 10 o'clock. I got my timer set, so hopefully by 10:15, we're all out of here and we're all done. Everything's all good. We're going to do a few introductory comments, make a little bit of discussion, but go straight to the live demonstration section as quick as I can, and then also move to a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can write them down in the chat. I've got the chat pulled up here. Make sure I follow that as we go. We can even answer questions as we're going through the discussion section. Also, this session is going to be recorded. It's being live streamed as well. So if you have to step away, answer a phone, answer a call, answer the FedEx man coming to the door, whatever it is, don't worry. We'll send out the video either today or tomorrow, also with the slides and everything like that. Now, briefly, for those of you that don't know me, I'm James Grant. My law firm, Georgia Trial Attorneys, is in the business of helping other personal injury lawyers make more money faster and with less stress by serving as their outsourced litigation department. And like I said before, we're big old nerds. I'm a Georgia Tech grad. My business partner, Mark, is a super nerd. So, we're serious when we say that we're all about redefining the traditional practice of law through technological innovations. And AI and what we're going over today is just one of the many tools that we like to use to do that. Now, ultimately, why does it matter? Why do you need to learn about this stuff? Why should you be focusing on custom instructions and AI in particular? There's really four main reasons here on this slide. First, context is absolutely king. Custom instructions ensure that GPT's responses are tailored to you specifically and your practice, whether it's personal injury, family law, criminal defense, whatever your practice area, you can have it tailor its responses to you and your specific position. Also, every second counts. You're going to be able to save time and move faster by having the AI preconditioned on who you are and how you like to have responses provided. Third, we've got a user experience that's just so much better. A lot of new users with AI tend to get really frustrated, but with custom instructions, your interactions with AI actually become more streamlined and more consistent because it already knows a lot about who you are and how you want to receive those responses. Um, and the last thing we hear, we've got error reduction. Accuracy is absolutely non-negotiable. There's a lot of these horror stories that are going out there about, well, AI hallucinates and AI does all this bad stuff, and AI comes up with, its own case law and creates its own statutes and makes up random facts. Well, yes, it can do that, but a lot of this just comes down to user error. And you can do away with a vast majority of these hallucinations and errors with just some simple custom instructions. And we're going to go over those today. You can't fix everything. AI is not a foolproof, one-stop shop, but it's a tool. And just like with any tool, it requires skillful use. That's why we're going over all of this today. Also, a big side note, the problems of AI 11 days ago, probably not the problems of AI today. 10 days ago, there was a giant update with GPT and changed a whole lot of stuff. The look is different, but just beyond the look, there's so many more things that it can do. Before 10 days ago, the AI database was only updated through September of 2021. Now the database is updated through April of 2023. Also, you can put in a lot longer prompts. The length is significantly improved for longer prompts. And also, its processing of specific and custom and detailed instructions is so much greater than before. So if you were having even issues 11, 12 days ago, a lot of those have probably changed. And even if you are sticking around for the live demo section, you'll see how a lot has changed just from a visual perspective when it comes to GPT. Now, we're going to do a brief overview of what the custom instructions are. So that way, when we get to the live demo, you'll kind of understand a little bit about what we're looking at. There's two main custom instructions here that we're focusing on that at least GPT gives you the ability to work on. The first one is, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? Well, this actually allows you to create an avatar for the AI to respond to. Are you an attorney? Or are you a first grader? The way you would communicate with each one of those is very different. The same thing is true for the AI. Where are you from? What area of law do you practice in? What are your goals? These are all things that you can tell the AI because, again, in any type of interaction, especially a social interaction, you tailor your responses to the person that's hearing you or receiving you or you're communicating with. So the AI can then start making assumptions about you and then tailoring its responses to you and that avatar that you create. The second custom instruction we have is, how would you like for ChatGPT to respond? This one is super cool because it allows you to effectively create a template of how you want the AI to provide information to you. Really, really cool. There's a lot that we can do with that, and we'll show that in the demo, but it just allows you to, number one, tell it this is the way I want information, but then also you can see what the AI is thinking, which then allows you to interact with it on a whole nother level that's just better than anything else. Now we're going to go over some of the symbols. This is not coding. This is not coding language. This is not anything like that. And there's multiple ways to do the same thing, but we're just going to go over briefly. You've got exclamation points, double asterisks, and closed brackets. An exclamation point is just something that delineates a keyword. This is a new category or something that I want you as the AI to focus on. This is the new section. This is a new line item. There's something that's separate about it. The next is the double asterisks. If you have double asterisks, then some type of text followed by double asterisks. So there's text that's surrounded by double asterisks. What that is it is a type of coding language, kind of, sort of, but not really. But all it says is, hey, I want this text to be bold, is effectively all it does. Again, this is something that we'll use in how we want GPT to respond, because for me, I like certain things to be bold, so it draws my attention and say, okay, this is a new thing that we're talking about. This is a new line item. So that way it just makes it more readable. So that way when we're interacting with the AI, again, you're more efficient with your process of what you're going through. And then next we have closed brackets. Closed brackets is similar to an exclamation point, but it's also slightly different. It's letting the AI know that this is a limiting instruction for a specific thing. A lot of times when we just start typing words and sentences, it's hard for us and for the AI to say, well, how is this next sentence different than the prior sentence or the subsequent sentence? So it's one of those things where you want to be able to delineate and say, if we're talking about, for instance, an objective, well, these are the only things I want you to discuss or focus on when we're talking about the objective. We'll see it more. It's kind of hard to talk about it in vague terms, but I always like to give a preview of what we're talking about. So that way, when you see it for the first time in the demo, it's like, okay, this makes sense. Now, here is a streamlined version of the custom instructions that I use. This is a lot. There's a whole lot of information here. And we're going to go over a lot of this as we get into the demo itself. Also, don't be worried that you have to like take a screen grab or write all this down or anything. All the slides are going to be available. We just post them, the link for you to download them. Everything is there, so that way if you just want to look at the slides later, copy paste, adapt it for your own use as you've seen how we've done the demo. Feel free to reach out, ask me questions. More than happy to help as we go through this. But yes, this is a whole lot of information. But by providing this information, again, it streamlines your interactions with AI. So briefly, going over the first custom instruction of how you want or what you want ChatGPT to know about you, there's a lot of information that's here. It's all delineated in categories based upon exclamation points from things as far as location, goals. There's a ton of stuff that's there. We don't want to go through every single line item today, but we'll see how it plays out in the live demo and how that can affect things. We also have the second instruction, which is slightly different from how we code, so to speak, the first custom instruction. We're telling it that this is a pre-instruction and that I want you to bold certain text, being that of an objective, an expert role, personas, and then provide that information based upon the information that we provide in the closed brackets. Um, you know, the cool thing about requesting the AI to provide this information before it provides an answer, it allows you to interact with the AI on a whole new level because you know what assumptions it's making. Sometimes it's making bad assumptions. Sometimes it's making great assumptions or things that you didn't consider. So again, as you go through your interactions with the AI, you can do it on a better level. All right, so yeah, we got the slides in there. So with that, now we're just going to get straight to the demo itself. All right. So we have GPT pulled up here. This is generally what you're going to see when you log in. And first thing that I always recommend that people do is go down here to where your name is. I have the paid version. Go ahead and spend the $20 a month. And when you come in here, go to settings and beta. When you go settings and beta, go to beta features and turn on your plugins and advanced data analysis. This allows you just to have more access to their beta tools, which again are really cool. A lot of these tools are now live and permanent and not in the beta stage, but there will be other beta features that come out. And you always kind of want to have access to the cool stuff that comes out. As far as where we find our custom instructions, we're going to click on our name again and just click on the thing that says custom instructions. These are my custom instructions that I talked about, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those. What that does is that allows us now to see how GPT actually works on a different level with a whole lot of other or with no information. Actually, what I need to do before I do that, I need to save these so I can put them back in and show you. All right. So we're starting off with no custom instructions whatsoever. And we're just going to do a sample prompt. So the sample prompt I came up with was in 150 words or less, what are the key considerations in a rear end car accident that results in personal injuries? This is generally what you're going to see in a typical response from the AI. It's just going to spit out something. I mean, it's it's decent. Like this is good information, but it's not necessarily tailored to you. Now let's play around with it and let's provide a custom instruction. This custom instruction is, let's say that you're 6 years old and you're in the first grade of elementary school. Let's open a new chat window and let's paste in that same exact prompt. It's slightly different. It's still providing you information, but it's talking without a lot of big words. Some of this is invariably going to, you can't get away from some of the big words just because you're talking about legal concepts, but still this is very different than the first approach, especially the language it's using in the phrasing. Well, we can take it to another level and we can say, all right, let's say that our location is again, we're Metro Atlanta, Georgia. You're a personal injury trial lawyer. You're a former judge, and you've got 20 years of legal experience. And your expertise level is you're an expert in personal injury law. All right. Also, I'm seeing the time. I'm sorry, this is not going to be 15 minutes. We're probably closer to 2025. So if you have, hop off, I get it. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to be this fast, but there's a lot here. But we're going to have some Q&A session as well. So if you want to put questions in now, we can also talk about those as they come through. But now you see, it's a different response. It's tailored more now to the person that we're dealing with. So, and you could even open a new window, type it again. You're going to get even something different because every time you open a new chat, it kind of resets things. It resets what the custom instructions are that you have provided. So that's just how you can do a lot and how the differences vary greatly with just adding a little bit of custom instructions in that first window of telling it who you are and where you come from and all the things about you and your persona. So that way it can, again, appropriately communicate with you. Now we're going to go and we're going to get rid of the custom instructions on one, and we're going to do the same. We're going to start a new chat. And this time, this is our template or our sample prompt. We're going to ask it to write a job description for a pre-litigation case manager in Georgia that handles 200 clients. Again, we're going to get a good response. Like, it's going to provide detailed information that's a really great base for you to start working with from a hiring perspective. Now, we're going to change the custom instructions and we're going to see how much different the response can be. And we're going to put in my custom instructions from earlier. I'll stop this because it's just going to continue doing it. So I'm going to put in my custom instructions for the second one. Put a new window. Put the same thing. Now, right off the bat, you immediately see something's different. Everything that I put in double asterisks, it's now bolding that and then providing information on what that is. So it's telling me, this is what I understand the objective is based upon the information that you have provided in the chat. It's saying this is the expert role I am assuming, the personas that I am channeling, and the assumptions that I'm making. This is really where your interactions with AI are next level, because what this does is it allows you to change and tinker because you now know how it's thinking. It's so much easier to interact when you have that knowledge as opposed to just the former where you're kind of guessing what the AI is thinking. And so, we see here, we haven't even gotten to the answer. Another thing that I've built in here is this answer or this confidence score. What that is closer you are to 1, the more confident the AI is. This does help with a lot of these hallucinations. I've also built in the sample, the template that's on the slides, is a warning. If anything's less than 0.7, I think it's 0.7, 0.7, 0.75, it's to provide a warning and explain why it doesn't have that high of confidence level. So again, cutting out a lot of these hallucinations by having the AI double check itself. Again, you're still going to have to do the work of double checking, especially if you're doing case law research and all that stuff. But even for this, you want to check everything. But again, the more confidence the AI has, the more that you can rely that it is providing accurate and tailored information. So that's just how there's differences between custom instruction 1, custom instruction 2. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the custom instructions and I'm going to provide everything. I'm going to give it the first and the second standard custom instruction that we're talking about today. I'm going to open a new window. And then here is my sample prompt. I would have put this in without anything in there, but we are kind of running way past on time. You can do this example yourself and kind of see how it's significantly different when you just ask it. We've done several things. We've done like a legal question, we've done an HR question. Now we're kind of doing like a marketing question. But I'm asking it to write a blog article, and I need help with topics. I want to know what questions can I answer so that the AI can then provide a more appropriate response. So again, it's going to go through the sequence of events where it's providing me the objective, the role, the personas, the confidence, all that. And then it's going to get to the actual response itself, which, as I've talked about in another webinar, this is the cool thing with AI is you can ask it questions on how you can better refine your responses. What that does is it gives you a perspective that you may not have thought, or you may not have thought about these questions in particular from, let's say, a marketing perspective. So it's asking you, what are your most common concerns or questions that your clients have? Answering all of these, get back into the AI is going to allow it to then provide a more thorough response. So as I've said in the past, if you get stuck, just ask the AI for help. It's going to help you. It's going to guide you. And then you'll be able to navigate this process so much better. So again, fast and furious. We're 20 minutes in. We've gone over a whole lot of stuff on custom instructions, from the first custom instruction to the second custom about, I am this, but I want you to provide it. But you can obviously see how responses are so much more targeted now, and they're relevant. Context is right there. Timing is there. But the ultimate consideration that I want everybody to think of and remember is experimentation is key. There's no one size fit all. Take my templates, tear them down, build it with what works for you, and then just tinker with it. If you don't like something, then take something out. That's the way that I've at least coded it. You can interact with your instructions easily. You can remove things quicker as opposed to having to change a whole set of paragraphs or sentences. Everything is in a line item effectively. So that way you can experiment so much easier and find out what works best for you, because what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for everyone. And that's the extent of the webinar from a live demo standpoint. Now we'll just move into the Q&A session. I'm going to pull up my chat window, and any and all questions that you guys have over the next few minutes or however long, just put them in the chat window, and we'll get to. My chat window is being super weird, so let me see if I can log into the live event itself. Well, I love it when technology doesn't work. You always have to adapt. So for some reason, the chat's not coming through. Got the chat. Well, we are about at time. We're over time. So what we can do is you'll have an email from me later this afternoon or tomorrow. It'll be a copy of the access to the slides, access to the video. Send me questions. If there's another topic that's like burning on your mind that you want another webinar on, don't hesitate to send me comments. Hey, do a webinar on this. Have you thought about this? What questions do you have? If you've got recommendations, or I have recommendations for a ton of different resources that are out there. So it's all about just making sure that everyone has more information. That way, again, you can do the research sometimes yourself. You can play with it, you can tinker with it, see what works for you. Um, you know, Lastly, I always just like to thank everyone for their time, for sticking around, for sticking 8 minutes over with me. And just remember, like this AI stuff, it can be intense, but at the same time, you don't have to be scared of it. Yeah. And ultimately, me and my firm, we're here to help other personal injury lawyers, whether it's offering, tips on how to implement AI into your practice, providing the free resources, whether it's motions, templates, complaints, samples or of any sort on our website. They're all available for download. Or if your firm just needs help litigating some of those smaller cases from $5,000 up to $250,000 in damages, my firm is more than happy to help you with those, help you make more money faster and with less stress. We're all here to succeed. I hope everyone has a great day. And if you're local, let me know. I'll take you out to lunch. If you want to schedule a free strategy session, don't hesitate to go to our website, click the link, schedule it yourself. We'll have a good time. We'll see what we can do to help each other. And again, thanks everybody for joining me today. I look forward to the